So we have The Eye of the World.
Yep. Michael Whelan cover.
Glaring fucking thing.
That's alright, man.
Yeah.
Fantastic art, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
First in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, first of the Wheel of Time. It took me 2 attempts to try and finish this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time I started listening to it, because I listened to some of it, I fucking hated it.
Hey.
I hated it, and I couldn't. I was like, "This is the boringest shit out," and like, I can't believe this is like one of the big science
Right.
fiction, like fantasy books.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking hated it, and then I ended up getting a book, getting the first book, getting a paperback of it in the middle of some shitty town.
Okay.
On a road trip, and I got it for $1, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a go. So I started reading it again, and then I looked at the rest of the book, and I was like, I'm gonna get the audiobook again.
Right.
It's a lot of pages in this. And,
Yeah.
you know, it would, not that I was afraid of it. I just knew it was gonna take a good chunk of sitting down time.
Sure.
So I started again, and I got up to the part with the Trollocs at the start, and they got me. I was like, sweet, let's do it. I think that the introduction part where the original dragon or whatever,
Was it Luz
Theron, I think that part of it has an ability to either entertain a reader and get them in it, or throw them away completely. I think that you're exposed to too much without really having any knowledge of anything, so you're thrown into the deep end really, and it's like, oh fuck.
For me, that kind of, it was almost like the beginning of a Game of Thrones, where like in a Game of Thrones there was like the White Walker scene and they killed the 2 Night's Watch guys.
Yeah.
But that, and then after that it's kind of like a slow burn, but you get that kind of
peppering
first kind of like, it wasn't like action but like very intense moment.
Yeah. And
then the writing kind of almost lets you forget about like all that kind of stuff, but obviously it's going to lead to more like moments like that, especially right near the end with when they get to the Eye of the World.
Yeah.
So what happens? So, well, there's that flashback to like thousands of years before with Luz Theron, and then he has this moment of clarity, and he realizes he's like been insane, and he's killed his family because of the male magic or whatever.
Yeah. Aes Sedai.
So no, that's the what?
That's the female one.
That's the name of like the female like
mages
order of it's
Sidar?
like Sidene and Sidar or something. I can't remember which one's which.
Weird thing.
Yeah.
Magic name.
But then we go to what's his name? Land.
Yeah.
Him and his dad, and it's alluded that he's kind of adopted and just found in the middle of nowhere.
Oh no, not Land. His name's Rand.
Rand.
There's another guy called Land.
Oh, Land is his dad.
No, Land's the water, isn't he?
Oh yeah. So there's Lan, who's the water, who's basically like Aragorn.
Yeah.
He's like the hidden king and shit.
Yeah.
He's very cool though.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh yeah. It's Rand.
Rand, yeah.
God.
I think his dad's name's like Michael or something. Yeah, something really normal.
I thought it rhymed with his name. Can't remember. Rand al'Thor and Land al'Thor.
Oh fuck!
Anyway,
I know. His
whatever.
dad. Yeah.
His dad.
Yeah.
And it's alluded that he's adopted because like once the Trollocs come in and tear shit up, like he's like wounded and he's like unconscious, but he's talking about his memories, like, oh, you're still my son.
Interesting way to. I thought that the Trolloc thing, like where they came in and they're trying to rip up this town and everything else. I thought that was interesting as well because it's almost like the ring wraiths trying to like find the ring. It's like Rand is this like chosen one, but no one really knows. They didn't even know, you know. Very interesting.
Yeah, because they just kind of know it's like a young man. That's kind of why they're targeting all the different those 3 friends. Matt and
Matt,
Perrin.
Yeah. Rand, yeah.
Yeah. And then after that happens, they kind of gap it because they realise that they're a target. I guess. God, what's the lady's name who's a Aes Sedai?
Moraine,
yeah. She's like, yeah, we should go. And I think they just go to a city, and then they leave there, and then they're attacked by Trollocs or something.
Yeah. They go into town, I think, and they're attacked by Trollocs.
And then they kind of get split up after. It's after they go to that abandoned city, and Matt gets the dagger.
Yep.
And he's like, it's kind of like the ring almost, but
like
but it's
cursed magic, cursed items.
And I really like because it was like Rand, Matt, and the Gleeman, and he kind of trains them up.
The Gleeman guy?
Yeah.
I thought he was interesting as well.
Yeah.
I thought the whole concept of the Gleeman stuff was cool. He's like this like storyteller who goes around and does different things. And
yeah, it was very cool. And the peddlers,
peddlers, yeah,
nice one. But I really liked when Matt and Rand were on their own, kind of using the skills they'd just learned to like make a bit of money and make their way to the city. And
the other thing is like you get the feeling that Matt and Rand are better best friends than Perrin. Like, you know, Matt. I feel like Matt and Rand were like the best mates, and Perrin was like a good mate with them as well, but like probably not the main best friend, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a part in it where Perrin meets up with a weird crazy wolf guy. Eh?
Yeah, with the yellow eyes, and Perrin just happens to have the same powers. I was like, okay. I didn't mind all that, and my expectations of this were somewhat accurate as to like how the book went. Like I kind of knew it wouldn't be like action packed and all that, so I was content with what happened, and like I was just going along with it. Like it was a nice break for me from more gritty action packed books.
Yeah.
And overall I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same, man. I don't know whether I definitely don't want to give it a 10.
No,
because it wasn't a 10 for me. It really wasn't. And like, there's moments in the book where it was just fucking dumb. They were just fucking dumb, boring bits.
Like what?
I can't remember, but I remember going through it, and I'm just like, when's the next thing gonna happen? Like, just it's partly on a boat. They all get separated on a boat.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit interesting, but it flips back to like Perrin, or it flips back to Matt and Lan and Moraine. They're on a different area, and like something interesting's happening with them. They're fighting, but then it goes back to Rand, and like, I don't give a shit about what he's doing. He's sitting on a fucking boat with a barrel of fish. Like, go back to what's happening and what's interesting. Yeah. And it's like fucking Rand and the Gleeman are just talking about fucking knives and about how they're gonna pay for this boat ride. And I'm like, I don't care about that at all. Like, you know. And little things like that really fucking frustrated me. It felt like the writer was trying to like pad out his time, so this next thing's gonna happen in the next book, you know. You gotta read that. But awesome concepts in it as well. The whole knife and the dagger thing with Matt, awesome concept. Like that haunted city. That person who was in that haunted city was one of the.
He like destroyed the city, right?
Yeah, he destroyed the city. He was one of the other males in the last like 1,000 years who could channel the male side of things,
right?
And like it drove him insane. And there's a few other people in the book. Like you hear, there's someone in the West who can channel, and it's like that's why there's like little things of outcroppings of, hey, the dragon is back. The dragon's back. The big mystical prophecy of the dragon's back, and it's like so. The male side of magic hasn't gone. It's still around, but it's in very, very tiny pockets. And it's tainted, and the people go insane.
Yeah.
And because it's like this weird yin-yang thing, like, the more the female side use, the less power they get.
Right.
And the more that there's hardly any males doing anything, the more powerful it is. So it's like, because there's one Rand, he can do whatever he wants and has all this power, but because it's tainted as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, like the spine of the world. I think it's called the spine of the world. Like these big peaky mountains, like the description of that, and them going over the mountains and everything was great. There's like a creature in it. What's the creature guy called with the hair?
Oh, the Green Man, or
not the Green Man. The Green Man was cool. He's like a Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
No, there's a.
Oh, they confuse him with the Trolloc.
Yeah, who was?
What is he? His name's Loyal, but he's like a race of like big kind of Trolloc-y looking things, but they're all peaceful and just want to learn things and. But they have some. He's like access to the portals, right?
And the portals are now tainted as well, right?
Well, some of them are. Oh no, you're right, because it's like quite dangerous in there.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. The Green Man thing was amazing. I really liked that, and I think that's what I mean. Like, the concepts in this book are really out there and cool. Like the knife slowly like eating away at this guy. He's almost got like a cancer, but he can't be without this thing. It gives him like unimaginable strength and power over, but like it's fucking killing him, and it's like not good. I actually didn't mind that. I know it was like sort of predictable for Perrin to get that wolf power or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either. I was just like, oh, okay, that's
a thing.
Like those three, like all have their own, I guess,
destiny,
journey and destiny.
Yeah. It definitely brings up the question, like, what happens if you are the chosen one? And it's like, oh, I'm the chosen one, I gotta do this thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Can't someone else do it?
Yeah, and he definitely has, especially at the end when he realises he has the male power, anxiety of like, oh, am I going to go insane, or are people going to hunt me and gentle me or whatever? And but yeah, overall it like kind of lived up to the hype for me, because I'd heard like there are some issues with it, but overall it's like a solid book, and I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, that's good, man. I reckon. I think I'd give it the same.
Yeah.
If not 7.5, I think that there was really good moments in it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do any more of the series?
Definitely. Although I'm not gonna read them really quickly. Like it might be a couple months before I read the next one. Is that The Great Hunt?
Yeah, The Great Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keen on it. But I'm not in a hurry either.
My only thing with that, my only reservation with that would be like maybe write down a little bit of your impressions before you go into the next book, because I did the first 3 books, I think it was, or the first 2 books. I think it's 3 books. And then I was like, I need a break from it, because it was there's such long books, there's so much happens. It's they really grow, and the roster of characters grow as well. Okay, yeah. So I'm like, all this shit's happening. And I was like, I'll give it a break, and I'll read a few books, do some other stuff, work on this and that, and then I'll jump back on it. I'm now having a really hard time knowing what's happening.
Oh, okay. I think just like, because it's so popular, there's like recap videos that kind of...
Oh, so you just watch one of those?
I reckon. That's what I did for the Stormlight Archive when I was reading book 2, because it's been ages since I've read book 1. And it just like, that happened. That happened. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it was, maybe I should do that then. But yeah.
I think it's Daniel Green with the E on the end of his name. It's like a big Wheel of Time guy, and has probably the most popular recaps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, not to like entice you to read it, but I really enjoyed the second one almost more.
I've heard that as well. Yeah,
the second one was fantastic.
Yep.
And like there was a lot more action and stuff going on in it.
Yeah. What else do I have? Oh, the Rand and Matt were like very naive, which I guess goes with like being like young men, but it was kind of frustrating and annoying. I get why they were written that way. I'm assuming they kind of grow as characters and become more wise and all that.
Well,
but it's just it's part. I fucking took the dagger when she said "don't take shit." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was dumb.
But they're like very young and dumb, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah, I think that they do learn some things over time.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Matt's like branded to start with as this like little shit kid who sort of gets into trouble and everything, and I think
established.
I think that's probably going to follow him around the whole series of books.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like from what I've seen, has been pretty good. So yeah. The Blight. The Blight was like this whole area of just like dark ones and stuff. And what do you think of the dark ones? They were like strange things. They didn't have eyes and shit, eh?
Right.
And like men couldn't kill them or something.
I don't quite remember that.
Something weird about them. Like the Trollocs were like basic everyday orc type thing. And some of them could talk and some of them couldn't. They were fucking dumb. But I thought that the dark ones could like, some of them could channel and stuff.
Right.
And some of them like more powerful than men.
I'd say maybe the ending bit where they're going to the Eye of the World and they meet up with like a king or whatever, and he's fighting this battle because he's right on the Blight. Because that's slowly expanding.
Yeah.
And that stuff with the Green Man and then the two kind of lieutenants or whatever of the Dark One like the Green Man killed one, but he died as well, and then there's the other one that Rand fought.
Yeah.
I thought that was maybe a touch rushed, and I was like a little bit confused as to like what's happening, but but it was alright.
I really liked the Green Man. I thought that was cool, and I thought it was great to see in that in a fantasy novel. It was almost like Swamp Thing, but he had like almost more purpose as well. Like they had to find him because he was part of it, and he had his own like little area where
his own little paradise kind of thing.
Yeah, oasis in the desert of Blight.
Yeah, no, there was cool like imagery when I was reading it. It was just like the almost political side of like what was happening, especially with like that king.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like Moraine met up with him.
Do you almost wish some of the political stuff wasn't in it? Because like that, I feel like that bogs down some of the story because it's not really a political book. Like there's a lot of bullshit about the no one trusting the female wizards.
Yeah.
And it's like there was so much of that Rand didn't want his dad to be healed by her, and then he just like sort of got over it and was like, oh yeah, can you heal my dad?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that kind of set up and kind of coincides with the bigotry almost, especially with like the male side. Like they hunt down the male ones if they have magic and stuff. I just kind of went with it, and that's kind of like my thing with the whole book.
Did you feel like the female side and the gentling and everything else almost felt like male castration? Like
definitely.
Like,
yeah, and I gather that they're not all like Moraine, where she's like kind of
good.
Yeah. Especially with the Aes Sedai that was with the Queen, that like Rand fell off the wall and met the princess and stuff.
That was kind of a nice touch as well. That was an interesting like little part of the story.
Yeah, definitely like. And I guess this applies to a lot of the book, is like setting up a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Little things here and there resolved, but like not a whole lot. Like I don't think...
It was a taster, eh?
Yeah.
It was a taster with lots of good pepper in it.
Yeah. No, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was as expected. I had some minor issues with it, but overall,
was there any like little quirk things that you like? Like I thought, like you said about the Gleeman, and because he could produce the knives without even like looking at it. Like, he had a cloak, and then the knives would like fly out underneath.
I'm assuming he comes back eventually because he was like an off-screen death.
And it's almost like, because they say in a few things like, oh, he's part of the woven path or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's part of the destiny, so you have to be with him and all this other crap. And then all of a sudden he dies, so he must come back, right?
I'm pretty sure he will.
The other thing is, I thought Land's cloak was awesome, the invisibility cloak type thing.
Yeah.
So, Any other quirks? It was almost like he was a samurai as well, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know how that fitted for me. I thought I liked the Aragorn analogy.
Yeah. I quite like the blending of different cultures. Like the forget their name, but they're like the sand people, not like like they're the only ones who can go through this wasteland, and because I think Perrin and the chick, that the girl that's with them as well, it's like the same age.
What's that girl's name?
Egwene.
Yeah.
They meet up with the Tinkers. Like, I really like the culture, like all the different cultures.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Like, there's quite a lot of it, and I can see it being a bit
and
much.
Land end up fucking banging or something?
Land
has like a love interest or something. Yeah, does he get a love interest?
Rand.
No, Land, like the guy.
Oh,
with
the
cloak.
water.
Yeah, doesn't he get a love interest or something? Someone gets a love interest.
Oh, it's the local witch lady who's got like the Aes Sedai power, and
but she doesn't know about it, eh?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Don't
know, but yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Does she die?
Nah,
no.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Gawain, though, right? Does she get on with Rand, or do you think?
I think they have a thing, but I'm thinking like the long term, like.
She'll get with Perrin, eh?
Well, yeah, they did have their own mission together, right?
Yeah.
Quest. Yeah, I would think they would get together, and Rand and the princess. Let's not get too much. I wish these two would get together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then they can have babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Nah, that's a good book.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Couple of 8s out of 10. I think that was great. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. The world.
Yeah.